Why do we sit here being silent, watching our leaders turn into tyrants? Have they forgotten which side they're fighting for? Checks and balances set aside and rule of laws, youth and ours, and Constitution openly ignored. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Is it time for right and left to join a greater cause? Man, I'm not okay. The rich claim to be victimized just to attack the marginalized. Is 1% really worth more than all the sick and poor? Always preaching about fellowship while planning their dictatorship. Now we've seen how all of this plays out before. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Time for you and I to join our country's call. Man, I'm not okay. Ever wonder all the mystery? Why they whitewash our history? Keep dividing is their plan. All in all, such a scam. Algorithm very sly, only used to spread the lies. Politicians know well, hate is simple to upsell. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Time for you and I to join our country's call.
We are not okay. America is not okay, and we all know that. Former Congressman Joe Walsh, this is The Social Contract with Joe Walsh. Let's figure out how to get okay together. Hey, Thursday. Hey, look, I'm not an old man. I'm not an old fart. I'm not a kid either. I like to think that I'm still 24, but I'm not. But I'm not 84. I'm not knocking on death's door yet. I'm not an old fart, but I have said now publicly for easily 6, 7, 8 years that in my lifetime, the Republican Party that I was a part of my whole adult life, the Republican Party that I believed in, the Republican Party that I ran for Congress under the banner of, the Republican Party that I ran for president under the banner of, the Republican Party that to me, right in my life, in my adult life, had always been the party of freedom, limited government, free markets, free speech, opportunity for all. That Republican Party ain't never coming back. Not in my lifetime. And again, I'm not an old fart, but I'm not a kid either. I have said so many times publicly that Republican Party is not coming back. Not in my lifetime. I get asked that question all the time, right? How long will Trump have his hold on the Republican Party? How long will this be Trump's party? How long will he be the leader, the dear leader, the cult leader, the kingmaker? And my answer is always as long as he's alive. And probably beyond that. As long as I'm alive, the Republican Party is going to be Trump's party. It will be the MAGA party. It will be the Trumpism party. It will be the illiberal party that it is now. At least that's what I believe. And there are so many people on both sides, on all sides, wishing this wasn't the case. Like there are so many of my former Republican colleagues who think and hope and pray every damn day that the party of George W. Bush or Mitt Romney's coming back. Donald Trump will be gone in a year or two, right? And the party, nobody. I've had fellow Republicans tell me that the day is coming in a year or 2 or 10 where every Republican who supported Trump will deny they ever supported him. Bullshit. So many Republicans and so many true conservatives, because Trump is not a conservative, hoping and praying and wishing that Donald Trump will be gone and that it will no longer be Trump's party. And they look for signs. And look, by the way, there are a lot of Democrats. There are just a lot of Americans who wish for the same thing. We've only got 2 political parties, 2 major political parties. That's a problem in and of itself. We need 3 parties, 4 parties, not just 2. This 2-party duopoly needs to die and go away, but I don't think that's coming anytime soon. But my God, there are a lot of Americans who look for any sign of hope they can find to convince them that this one of these 2 American political parties, which is fully anti-democracy, anti the rule of law, that it will be gone, that it won't be Trump's party, that Mitt Romney will be able to run for president or Nikki Haley. I get it. I understand what everybody's hoping for, right? As long as we have 2 parties, we want both parties to be healthy. We want both parties, I don't know, as long as we have 2 political parties, we want both parties to support democracy and the rule of law. I get it. I'm right with you, but it ain't gonna happen. It certainly ain't gonna happen soon. And yesterday was a flat out reminder. What happened in Indiana last night? A flat out reminder to everybody hoping that the old Republican Party's coming back tomorrow. What happened in Indiana last night on primary day was a reminder that this remains Donald Trump's party. Wake up. News flash. It's Trump's party. Period. And that's not going to change. Keith, I don't know if I gave you a headline on Indiana or not. If I did, I know you've got it. Thank you, brother. Trump strikes back, says Fox News. All the lawmakers who opposed Trump on redistricting in Indiana, they lost. Thanks, Keith. Indiana had their primary day yesterday. Donald Trump desperately demanded redistricting in Indiana, right? Trump started the whole mid-decade redistricting bullshit, anti-democratic cheating crap in Texas. Indiana was one of the early states that Trump pushed to redistrict, to create more Republican seats. Indiana is a very conservative state. The Indiana state legislature pushed back and joined. Enough of the Republicans in the state legislature joined Democrats to deny a redistricting bill being passed. And when that happened a few months back, Donald Trump pledged, I'm going to go after every single Republican who joined the Democrats to oppose my redistricting, something any mad king would do. There were 7 of these Republican state legislators in total who opposed Trump's redistricting. 5 of those 7 got wiped out yesterday in the Republican primary. A 6th race right now is too close to call. The 7th state legislator who opposed Trump, he ran with hardly any serious opposition. So Trump had a big night last night. He defeated the Indiana state legislators who opposed his redistricting cheating. And by the way, these 7 Republicans in Indiana who opposed Trump's redistricting, they're all solid conservatives. These primary challenges were all about Trump. The challengers to these Republican state legislators, they ran on one thing and one thing only. I love and adore Donald Trump. I bow down to Donald Trump. I would have supported Trump's redistricting. That was it. That's all they ran on. They ran against good conservatives who had been in the state legislature for a while. And Trump took them down. Trump did that. Trump held 5, maybe 6 Republicans get elected who nobody has really even heard of. The takeaway, the Republican Party is Trump's. And all of us hoping for something different in the next year to 2 to 4 to 6 need to stop that kind of foolish hoping and face the reality that this is Trump's party and it moves beyond Trump. It's the party of Trumpism. It's the party of MAGA. It's the party of white Christian nationalism. It's the party of build a wall around America and keep people out, especially brown and black people. That's what this party is. It's the party of use government to go after your political enemies. It's metastasized beyond Trump. But most importantly, Donald Trump's their leader. And ain't no other leader going to challenge him. Trump's not going to be able to run for president again in 28. He probably won't try, we don't think. But whoever the Republican Party nominee is in 2028, that nominee will have to get down on his or her knees, prostrate themselves in front of Trump, kiss his ring, and plea for his blessing. The 2028 Republican Party nominee is going to be picked by Trump. Donald Trump's the kingmaker in this Republican Party. And what happened in Indiana last night was just the latest piece of evidence. And again, everyone, and I say this every day to my former Republican friends and colleagues, come on now. Life is short. Move beyond your hopes and prayers for the Mitt Romney Republican Party coming back. It ain't coming back. Mitt Romney ain't coming back. But what's interesting about this is, as the Republican Party shrinks, and it is again, because of what Trump's been doing the past 15 months, as the Republican Party shrinks, Trump's hold on the party strengthens. There was a huge, Michigan had their primary yesterday as well. And a big win in a state Senate seat in Michigan. A Democrat won a district by like 26 some points, a district that Kamala won by 6. So again, showing that there is this Democratic overperformance right now. So we've got this thing going on where the Republican Party is becoming more and more Trump's, while the Republican Party itself is weakening across the board. That's a good and a bad thing. For America, it's generally a good thing because we need my former political party to lose. But it's a dangerous thing as this one of our 2 major political parties becomes even more Trumpy by the day. I mean, look at all that Trump has done. Look at all the damage, all the bad, all the horrible, all the illegal that Trump has done in the last 15 months. it's going to get worse. But it's Trump's party. I got to tell you something. And I guess this is a segue. I want to talk about Marco Rubio for a second this Thursday, because all of the never Trumper Republicans and the conservative Republicans and the people who oppose Trump and the independents who want to vote Republican and all of the conservative commentators who really are too afraid to go after Trump, everybody's pinning their hopes on Rubio. Right? You've heard it. I've heard it. Rubio's the only sane person working in the Trump administration. Rubio's decent. He's smart. He's like that bridge between the old Republican Party and Trump. He's not like Vance, Joe. He's not MAGA and Trumpy like Vance or Tucker Carlson or Don Jr. or Ted Cruz. Marco Rubio, he's good. Marco Rubio's good, I hear. So many of my wishful Republicans and former Republicans and independents saying right now, and a lot of businessmen who I know, who I talk to all the time, who despise Trump and despise what Trump's done to the Republican Party, but they very cowardly vote for Trump very quietly. They're telling me all the time that, Joe, Marco Rubio, now there's a Republican I can support. Like that, enthusiastically. Like that's the Republican. That's a sane Republican. That's an eloquent Republican that I can vote for, Joe. Really? Rubio was in front of the cameras yesterday, held the press conference yesterday. And the first thing, Keith, I want to talk about is what Marco Rubio said about the war. Take a listen to this. It's a short clip.
As President Trump has said, and the facts clearly bear out, the United States of America holds all the cards. There is no scenario here in which if they decide to join a ladder of escalation, they wind up getting the last say. But our preference is for the straits to be opened to the way they're supposed to be opened, back to the way it was.
You can pull it, Keith. Let me paraphrase. Technological issues again on my end. Marco Rubio was asked about where we are in the war, and he said that Operation Epic Fury is done. So Rubio reiterated what Trump's been saying, that the war's over. We're going to declare victory. It's done. And Rubio, in that very short clip, actually said, because he was asked, what does that mean? And what will we have accomplished? And Rubio said, we're going to get back to the way it was before the war, where the Strait of Hormuz is open, and everybody in every country and all of God's children can just sail their boats, cruise their boats through the strait, and conduct business. We got to get back to that, Marco Rubio said yesterday. We have to get back to the way it was before the war. That's what Marco Rubio said yesterday. Back to the way it was before the war. So then why did we go to war? Marco Rubio. I mean, it's useless to ask Trump that question because Trump's an idiot and he doesn't know what he's doing. And he lies and he opens his mouth. But Marco Rubio, oh no, Joe, Marco Rubio is a good, normal Republican. He's like what Mitt Romney and John Kasich and John McCain. He's a good, principled Republican. Rubio said the same thing. He said the same thing. We wanted to go back to the way it was before the war. We wanted to go back to where the Strait of Hormuz is open, which it was before this war. So, Marco, we've done all of this 13 Americans are dead. 50, 75, some billion dollars spent. The economy, the American economy taking such a hit. So many Iranians dead. So that we did all of that so that we could go back to the way it was before Trump started this war. Let's be clear. No regime change. No enriched uranium gotten. No deal on Iranian ballistic missiles. No nothing. Nothing accomplished. Nothing that Trump and his administration, day after day, said was the aim or the goal of this war. Marco Rubio stood in front of the cameras yesterday and declared victory. Operation Epic Fury is over. The war is over. Rubio said we're moving on to the next phase. What did we accomplish? And see, again, part of the problem here is Trump. Donald Trump had no fucking clue what he was doing when he launched this war. He's had no fucking clue what he's been doing every single day of this war of his. You combine that with the fact that Donald Trump lies every time he opens his mouth. Now, first off, this is a really dangerous, shitty position for the world to be in. A pathologically dishonest madman running this war. And Trump posted this morning. Trump posted this morning just gobbledygook nonsense. Trump sent out a post this morning that said, "We won, but we're going to start firing on Iran again if we have to. Epic Fury is over. Project Freedom that they just started 2 days ago. Nobody knows what Project Freedom is. Donald Trump announced that's over, but everything could be brought back." And then Rubio and Trump and everybody complaining that they need help from the rest of the world to open up the strait. You tell me they know what they're doing. And I'm sorry, I won't get to it today. There's another clip from Rubio that I will play on tomorrow's show that is utterly beautiful in demonstrating how Marco Rubio has sold his soul. I don't know all you smart conservative thinkers who oppose Trump, but you'd vote Republican if Rubio were the nominee. Okay, so you won't vote for a crazy. Like all these, the folks at the Dispatch and the Bulwark, and you write all these principled, principled conservative thinkers and talkers. They don't wrap their arms around Trump, but don't want to get their hands dirty and really go after Donald Trump being the unique threat he is to democracy and the rule of law. And they're part of this group that just holds out hope that, oh my God, if it's Marco Rubio, there's a good Republican. That's the Republican we can support. Then if Marco Rubio's the nominee, then we're back inside the Republican club, right? I don't know. Really? Is Marco Rubio preferable to Tucker Carlson? Is Marco Rubio preferable to J.D. Vance or Don Jr. or Marjorie Taylor Greene? And before you say I'm crazy, what's worse? What's worse? A true MAGA crazy like a Marjorie Taylor Greene or a Tucker Carlson, or someone who pathetically sold their soul to MAGA like a Marco Rubio? What's worse? A MAGA crazy who supports Trump because they're a true believer, or someone like Marco Rubio, who we know doesn't like Donald Trump, but decided to sell his soul and support Trump, and then go to work for Trump, and then go to work for Trump and be right there, hip and hip, arm in arm with Trump, as Donald Trump does everything you said you didn't believe in, like dismantle USAID, like support Putin and not Ukraine. And your little old Marco Rubio, who everybody says is so good, and you're just sitting there because you sold your soul and you're doing Trump's work for him. I don't know what's worse. Marco Rubio is so good. Marco Rubio is so good. All of these smart conservative thinkers tell me he's the one Republican they could support in 28. Bullshit. I couldn't support a Republican who sold his soul to Trump. In fact, I think a Republican like Marco Rubio, who despicably and cowardly sold his soul to Trump, sold out everything he believed in for a seat at the table, I think that's more despicable than a true believing crazy like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Tucker Carlson. I couldn't support either one. But that's just me. Hey, I want to make note of this right now, and I've mentioned it the last couple of days. In about an hour and a half, at 12 noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern, there's a new group called The Big Middle on Substack. And at 1 o'clock Eastern today, The Big Middle is going to be doing something fascinating. They're going to be holding a live stream web show to begin to find out if through technology, the American people can find consensus on issues. It's going to be fascinating to watch. And they're going to introduce it today, The Big Middle on Substack. They're going to introduce this concept, this live streaming web show on Substack today at 1 o'clock Eastern, explain what it's all about, and begin to see if this can actually work. If you can gather thousands of Americans electronically, put an issue, a contentious issue in front of them, and see if through the technology, right, they can arrive at consensus on an issue. It's called The Big Middle. If you're on Substack, you need to follow them and subscribe to them. You can only watch this web show on Substack at 1 o'clock Eastern today. You got to go to The Big Middle. I'm fascinated by what they're trying to do because it is another iteration of what I'm trying to do as I travel the country with Hope Not Fear Project.org, where every 2 weeks I'm getting in front of Americans. I'm putting Americans in a room who disagree. I'm locking the door and we're having a good, tough, honest, face-to-face conversation. And then we put that we're filming the conversations and putting that content out there. Now I'm doing this just to help Americans learn how to listen to each other and understand each other. The Big Middle is trying to take it a step further and see if Americans who disagree can actually arrive at consensus at a grand scale, right? Using technology. So thousands of Americans sitting down talking about gun violence, can they, over the course of a few sessions, arrive at some sort of consensus issue on what to do about guns or any issue? Should be fascinating. It's all The Big Middle, The Big Middle, The Big Middle. That's the name of the group. They're on Substack. You can watch this live streaming web show today and be part of it on Substack. Just go to The Big Middle. It's at 12 noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern today. The Big Middle on Substack. Keith, I'm going to stop there. I want to get to the other Rubio clip from yesterday is just gold. And I will get into that tomorrow because, again, it says so much about who and what Trump is and who and what we want America to be and who and what Marco Rubio is. HopeNotFearProject.org, HopeNotFearProject.org. If you want to support my effort of putting people around the country in rooms every 2 weeks who disagree and trying to have honest, good, tough, uncomfortable conversations, by all means, go to HopeNotFearProject.org and support the work we're doing. Always support Paxos, Paxos.app. That is our tool out there, our Know Your Rights tool to help immigrants and citizens alike fight back legally, lawfully, and pragmatically against ICE. Check it out. It's free for everybody to use. Paxos.app. As always, my Substack, you know my Substack, Social Contract with Joe Walsh.substack.com. Feels like I'm just always plugging so much shit, and it's not shit, and I don't mean to do it. It's just not my nature. Support my Substack. If you support my voice, the best way to support it is through my Substack, Social Contract with Joe Walsh.substack.com. As always, you want to send me an email, send me an email. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh@gmail.com. That's all one word as well. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh@gmail.com. Have a good Thursday, everybody. Doggone it. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, follow, and share The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple, Spotify. Plus, don't forget to subscribe to The Social Contract on Substack. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.